Dear students, today we are going to learn about basics of archaeology. Okay, so we are talking about archaeology, the terminology. What does it mean? What is the meaning of archaeology? So we are talking about the terminology of the archaeology. The archaeology, it was the origin from the two important Greek words, archaeos and logias. Archaeos means ancient or old. Logia means learning or study. That is the what called meaning of archaeology. So archaeology means the study of past, study of the the ancient. So according to K.V. Roman, the Greek term archaeolos means ancient, logos means science or theory. Okay, so as per the view of K.V. Raman, the archaeology is the science of ancient, or what you call theory of the ancient. Okay, as per the view of K.V. Raman. So what is archaeology? So what is mean by archaeology? The archaeology means to study the story of man's past through his material remains. So the material remains is important one. The archaeology means material remains or archaeological vestiges or archaeological remains. So without remains we can't identify or we can't consider as archaeology. Okay, so the archaeology is to study the story of man's past through his material remains. So another one important explanation about the archaeology. The archaeology means the study of antiquity or the artifacts or antiquity by analyzing the materials remains of ancient human culture. It is kind of analyzing the human culture, analyzing the materials or analyzing the artifact. What we call archaeological remains, it was called as archaeology. Okay, then we are having some more explanation about archaeology. The important the definition about archaeology, like the study. The archaeology means the study of people and culture of the past through the objects which they left behind. Okay, the study of the people and culture, how we are understanding about their people, their culture based on the how they left their objects, their remains. Okay, so based on these remains we are studying or we are trying to understand about the classical people. If you look at the study of the ancient human past through the recovery and analysis of material remains, it was known as archaeology. Okay, so what is archaeology is the another one important definitions. The scientific study of the physical evidence. Okay, so what is meant by scientific study? This is kind of approaching about applying several scientific methodology or scientific tools to identify the artifacts which periods belongs to. Okay, so to study the scientific study of the physical evidence of the past human societies recovered through the excavation. Okay, so in the excavation we are getting several artifacts or several the remains. Okay, so the several remains we can't without a scientific study or without a scientific approach we can't come to the conclusion. Okay, so based on the scientific study or based on the scientific approach we can try to understand about the real value of these artifacts or the material remains. Okay, so aim or objective of archaeology. So what is the importance of what is the important objective of the archaeology? So aim of the archaeology. So first aim of archaeology is to study the human culture and social past. Okay, so the archaeology is the first aim is to study the human culture and social past. Second important objective is to construct or reconstruct the real history with the support of reliable material remains. Third one important objective is to understand the past human society and their way of lifestyle. So these are the important three objectives of the archaeology. Okay, so we are talking about scope. Okay, so scope of the archaeology. Okay, scope means like the duration of the period. It was known as scope. But if you look at the archaeological aspect or if you look at the archaeological concept, it doesn't have any kind of duration. Okay, so there is no time limit for the archaeological study. So there is no rigid time for the archaeological study. the study of all the ancient artifacts. Okay, it's applicable to all the ancient artifacts. It's not applicable to India. It's not applicable to a certain duration. It's studying about the ancient time, studying about ancient artifacts. This archaeology focuses the architectural remains, artifacts, numismatics, cultural remains, etc. Okay, so the archaeology is mainly focusing about these aspects like architectural remains, artifacts, numismatics, cultural remains, etc. Okay, so Gyan Daniel, he was archaeologist of Cambridge University. Cambridge University Archaeology is London. According to him, the artifacts are material remains which gives reliable information on historical facts considered as the archaeology. Okay, so as per the view of Gyan Daniel, the archaeology means the artifacts are material remains which gives reliable information on historical facts are considered as archaeology. So what is the value of archaeology, or what you call the importance of archaeology? Okay, so if you look at the archaeology, the importance of archaeology, the archaeology or archaeological evidence, it's main sources for the history of human being. Okay, so without archaeological evidence, we can construct our history of India, or we can't construct a reliable history, or we can't write a real history. Okay, so for writing a real history, we need archaeological evidence. So it is providing a primary sources for the prehistoric period. This archaeology archaeological remains gives the clear picture of evolution of human culture in the different parts of the world. It is not giving, it's not the archaeology is a common term, so we are applying, or it's applicable to the entire world. So it is giving the clear picture about the evolution of human culture in the different parts of the world. Okay, so to know the human habitats, the implements of the defense and their cultural way of life. So it was the important value of archaeology. So these the tool making techniques. Okay, so based on these archaeological evidence, we can try to know about the tool making techniques and way of their life. It proves the origin and the farming or what you call farming or agriculture. So these archaeological remains is giving a clear picture about the agricultural development. It's clear giving a picture about origin of farming. How this archaeological evidence is giving how the classical people, they have domesticated the animals. Then we are having evidence for the use of potteries. We are having evidence for these customary activities towards the burial system. Then we are having evidence for social behaviors like dress, the customs and the costumes and the rituals and all. Then we are having the evidence for the administration, or what you call their trading system and all. This is another one value of these archaeology. Okay, these archaeology materials or archaeological evidence is supplementary sources to the historical writings. This archaeological evidence is providing the valuable sources to the to prove the facts. It fills in the gap which found in the records of written history. Okay, this archaeological evidence is giving valuable sources to the historical knowledge, or historical what you call historical writings. Then we are having several. So we are having several archaeological excavation. We are having several archaeological sites to prove the classical style of living, classical the trading culture, and then classical the society, then classical trading relationship with other neighboring countries. Then we are having several evidence like the Archaeology excavation, then Kaveri Pumpatnam excavation. Then we are having several the evidence like the Nalanda University, then Buddha Viharas. So these the evidence we are getting, we are having evidence from the archaeological excavation. Okay, so these the importance of the archaeology. The archaeological evidence or archaeological excavation is it is providing to know the common man history. Okay, so if you look at the archaeological excavations, archaeological materials, it provides the materials for reconstructing the common man history. So if you look at the many historical documents, it's our inscriptions are it's mostly mainly concentrated on higher classes, or heroes, or the ruler, or kings, or leader of the society. It doesn't consider the common man history. Okay, so the archaeological evidence or archaeological objects, it is trying to reconstruct the history of the common people, or history of the marginalized section of the people. The excavation bringing to light the day-to-day household object of the common people. This exhibition is giving clear picture about the common people. We are getting information about terracotta. So we are getting information. We are getting several beads, glass bangles, wooden combs, iron sickles, and all. Okay, so based on these materials, we can try to understand about how the people they have lived, or which kind of things they have utilized, they have used for their daily activities. Okay, so the Flinders Petrie was known as the father of archaeology. He was known as the father of archaeology. Then, if you look at the Indian context, the Alexander Cunningham was considered as the father of Indian archaeology. Then the Robert Bruce Foote, he was considered as the father of prehistory. Right? Okay. So thank you. So today we have learned about the basics of archaeology. Thank you. Thank you all.